Alright, we're ready to undertake our adventure of the entire Chief Ladiga Trail and the Silver Comet Trail. Ethan has been training for this for quite a while, all summer, been training hard. So today we'll do about 40 miles into Cedartown, a little bit more than 40 miles. That'll be the most that Ethan's biked in a whole day. And then tomorrow, if all goes well, we will actually exceed that. And just to increase the degree of difficulty, for the first 19 miles, I have some extra passengers here who are going to come along, and then Mommy's going to meet up with us in Piedmont, Alabama for our lunch break. And then our sag wagon will depart, and we'll be on our own for the rest of the trip. So it's a lovely park. Picnic benches, bathrooms, and we are ready to go. So let's hit the trail. All right.
Bye guys, have fun!
I have it on good authority from my native-born Alabama friends that the locals pronounce the name of this trail Ladiga. As we enter Jacksonville on the Chief Ladiga Trail, we find two characters in opposition. Jacksonville, of course, is named after President Andrew Jackson, who signed the Indian Removal Act of 1830. This act led directly to the Treaty of Cusseta in 1832, where Chief Ladiga, who was chief of the Creek tribe, sometimes also called the Muskogee tribe, was forced to cede all of that tribe's territory east of the Mississippi. This led to their relocation as part of the Trail of Tears. The Trail of Tears was not one event, but a series of events, and the last one of those was the removal of the Cherokee tribe, and we'll see later on some markers noting the Cherokee Trail of Tears. Altogether, that relocation involved 60,000 Native Americans, and several thousands of those died during the relocation itself. We're here at the Chief Ladiga Landing. Nice little park. They've got some bikes here for bike shares. They've got an old bridge back there that is here at this park, and with access directly to the trail over there. And we've seen a lot of cyclists on the trail already this morning. Here comes some more. Coming up on Jacksonville State University, and we have, it's just a beautiful setting here. I gotta say, Ethan's been setting a pretty aggressive pace for myself and my passengers. We've been doing 11-12 miles an hour. Now that might not sound like much, but with the extra weight that I'm carrying, that's a lot. All right, we've gone a little over 9 miles, and I wanted to give a little report on the state of the trail. It's been very well maintained so far. Last year when I rode with my brother, we started in Atlanta and headed west. And I remember at the end of that ride, all of these tree roots that had made the pavement push upwards and had made the ride very, very bumpy and memorable at the end of all those miles. But it looks like they've maintained that and shaved those spots down so that it's pretty smooth. It's been a good ride. I think Sammy's fallen asleep. Now it's just along for the ride. The best part about these rail trails is these deserted sections with a nice tree cover, nice and peaceful. Well, we've arrived at some cornfields here at an intersection that looks nothing like our intersections back in Atlanta. Just a beautiful scene. Well, I spoke too soon about the tree roots. Now that we're further along the trail, there are some significant bumps caused by tree roots that have pushed the pavement up. We just went over one and it was so jarring that the thermos was ejected. Ejected out of
Sammy's chariot. It was in the back of Sammy's chariot, and it was gone. So you do have to be careful about some of those bumps that disrupt the smooth ride. Well, we are approaching Piedmont, Alabama, where our lunch stop will be. And it's been a lovely ride so far. And I think the two little ones are looking forward to seeing their mama. So it's been about the right distance for the younger two. Well, we just have come into the town of Piedmont itself, and we're looking forward to a little bit of lunch. You can see that the trail here is quite a lovely spot. We're all enthralled with this little scamp right here, who is staying very close to us while we have food. Caleb, what did you think of this morning's ride?
Well, it was pretty shady and pretty hot. But the best part is that I got to hang out with my dada.
Oh. Well, we had a lovely lunch stop here at the Eubanks Welcome Center. And we've reconfigured. And so instead of having the contraption of my caravan, we've traded that for the bike trunk. And so the bike trunk's pretty heavy, but certainly nothing like what we were hauling before. And we've got quite a few miles, just over 20 miles, 20 plus, 23, something like that, to go yet today. So we're gonna hit the trail. Well, now I'm suddenly in my third chain ring in the front, which didn't see action the entire morning. And we're on our way to Cedartown. I think these spots are just like out of a storybook. So far away from civilization. Right off the trail here, you'll see the entrance to the Chief Ladiga campground. If you are bike packing. It's a pretty spot. You can see the tents in the background. We are approaching the state line, and we're going to pause here for a much needed respite. Here at the state line, our hero is down but not defeated. It was a tough climb. Not that the incline was great, but it was just sustained. And we're here where the Chief Ladiga changes to the Silver Comet. And over here in this mailbox, sometimes there's a little logbook that you can write in. And so I usually try to bring a pen, but I forgot a pen. Let's see if it's in there. Oh, it is, and there are pens. Let's see. We're going to write in here. Oh, Chief Ladiga Trail 2020, Book 2. All right. Let's see what's in here. Oh, someone from Pennsylvania, my old stomping grounds.
A good ride, Doug. Someone in from Decatur. Someone drew a little kitty cat. All right. We'll add our signature to this as well. We know the Silver Comet Trail very well. We've enjoyed lots of time on it. And the pavement will be less bumpy than what we were just on, so that'll be nice. Ethan's pretty tired, but we have some downhill miles ahead of us as we head into Cedartown. The Silver Comet Trail is of course named for the Silver Comet train, which ran service between Birmingham and New York starting in 1947 and ending in 1969. Driven out of business by a competing railroad as well as the rise of the automobile. And you could travel from Birmingham to New York in about 23 hours, covering 1,106 miles. All right, we're coming into Cedartown. We're gonna get off the trail. All right, well, we are ready to hit the road for day 2. We overnighted here at this Quality Inn. Not too many hotels in Cedartown. This one is pretty basic, but it is bike friendly. As we figured out, we just kept our bikes in the room, but then this morning I see that this was available as well. And so we had dinner right down there. You can maybe see the umbrellas and the sign there for Jefferson's, the restaurant, and we had some food that we brought back here because of COVID. We ate it in our room. Also because of COVID, there was no breakfast service beyond juice and coffee, so we had to make some provisions for that. And we are ready to go. So I spent a little time last night working on my front brake that was giving me trouble yesterday, and I'm hoping that that is smooth. We were also really fortunate yesterday that even with the forecast of some showers, we did not have to get our ponchos out at all. So I'm hoping that today is similar, but there's definitely a chance of rain. And so we're gonna go ahead and hit the road. We're coming through the main part of Cedartown. We're already having rain droplets that we're facing. And then we'll pick up the trail down here at the old depot. All right, here's the old depot, and it's now the Welcome Center. They have bathrooms, and they don't sell much, but they do sell a couple things. If you need a Gatorade or crackers, you know, emergency snack, they have some things in there. They also have a bunch of memorabilia about the actor who played the voice of Winnie the Pooh. He came from this area, and it's a pretty little welcome center. They ask that you walk your bikes through this part. They've got some bike tools over here, and if your dog is thirsty, you're in luck. Now, just to the south of that interchange is one of our favorite restaurants, which is Lively's Barbecue and Breakfast. And so that is a favorite of ours. That is a very disturbing looking squirrel. Wow. I want to add that this stretch between Cedartown and Rockmart is definitely not a real trail. There is a rail bed here, it's active, and so the path that the trail takes is very curvy and steep in places. And so here this morning, while we're fresh, we'll have the privilege of climbing what we call Mount Trashmore. Coming through an interesting little stretch here. And I'll add that we just passed two people who were walking their dogs, two dogs. And I saw the dogs before I could see the people. And the one dog was ginormous. And from a distance, it gave me a little fright. I thought we had a bear cub up ahead. But it's just a dog on a leash. No problem. I want to point out this marker here, the last foot of trail, August 29th, 2008, in this very rural setting. But I want to add that there's currently some work being done to extend the Silver Comet on the eastern side to connect it with the Atlanta Beltline. So that'll be nice whenever that gets completed. All right, now we are approaching the ascent of Mount Trashmore, and I wish I could film myself going up there, but I'll be huffing and puffing, especially with this bike trunk, and so I'll check in with you at the top. That's a tough climb coming from the west. I actually think it's tougher coming from the east, where you have a couple sections very short that are just extreme grade, and it's a really pretty view up here. You get a nice resting spot, and you hope that the winds are not against you, otherwise you'll smell the landfill. Well, we've arrived at Camp Comet, a little campground right here along the trail, and it's sort of a first come first serve campground. I don't know if anybody is camping here tonight. I see a bicycle over here. Sometimes you can see tents. You can see fire pit and a grill station. I don't see any tents today. Sometimes we see them. But I believe Comet Trail Cycles, a bike shop on the Silver Comet Trail, about 4 miles in from the east side and at the Floyd Road trailhead. They organize some group rides out here on a monthly basis, and I've never gone on one, but I've kind of always wanted to. There's the scenic wetlands overlook very close to Camp Comet, where we are going to pause and get some water and some food, because we do not want to run out of energy on this long ride today. And someone left a shoe, so if you've lost your shoe, it's here. If you like farmland, this is the stretch for you. And in this connection here between Rockmart and Cedartown, where there wasn't a rail line to use, I remember reading an article about just the difficulty of negotiating all the easements necessary with the various landowners to make this path a reality. And so that's sort of reflected in the way that the trail weaves in and around different farms and different areas. It gives the trail some variety.
And I don't wanna be left out at night when I can't see everything that ain't right. I don't wanna be a rodeo. She'll lasso me up and off we go. And I fell in love with Annalise. She is the only girl who's ever been nice to me. She is my own little personal goat. She'll pick me up and
The trail shop, they cater to hunters and fishermen, but they have things that would interest a cyclist as well. You know, if you need a Gatorade, or they have some basic snacks. Water, I think when we stopped in there, they offered us free water, which was very kind, and bathrooms. So yeah, if you need something, if you're traveling west, remember your next 10 miles would be pretty remote, so it's a good place to fuel up. And we've arrived at probably my least favorite part of the Silver Comet Trail, what some people call 278 Sidewalk, because it just runs here parallel with this road and it just rolls up and down and up and down, and just is a little bit annoying, but we can handle it. Now, a word of warning right here, this is just a treacherous little turn, and I mentioned that because I was coming up from the other direction the first time that I encountered this, and we crashed. It's just really steep. It doesn't last very long, but it's steep, and if you don't have the right gear coming up, you just won't make it. And the day that I first went up it, I was clipped in, and I had one passenger that day, and we went over. So just a word of warning. I'll take a picture of what it looks like from the other side, but this is just a really steep, treacherous spot. Well, we're here at Nathan Dean Park in Rockmart, and it's a good place to get on and off the trail. There are restrooms there that are usually open. I think it's a COVID thing that they're closed right now. And my sons have really enjoyed the playground in the distance. Okay, here in Rockmart, we go right along this stream for a while, and it's really quite pretty. This little natural part of Rockmart is one of my favorites. It's just a really pretty section and a good place for us to take a little snack break. With the earth cuts here shielding us and a lot of tree cover. And that's really nice. I've been on this trail sometimes when it's 97 degrees out, and you really don't feel too much. You get so much shade and breeze and protection from the elements that it's just really a lovely ride. We've arrived at Ma White's Bottomland, and it's a nice little farm overlook here. Sometimes this is really overgrown and you can't see much, and it's sort of in a moderate state right now. Last time I was here it was trimmed back pretty well, but a pretty view when you can see it. As for the plaque, it gives a little bit of information about this plantation during the Civil War, but to me it kind of paints an incomplete picture, so some historian has a little work to do, in my opinion. Well, we've just come up the trail. That's quite a bridge. We've got I don't know if this is welcoming or creepy, but there it is. Ethan made some friends back there of the canine variety who are now following us. Well, we're here at the Coots Lake trailhead, where you can see it's a popular day for cycling on this Sunday morning. And Coots Lake used to be open to the public, but no more. It's named after Calvin Coolidge. We're coming up on the real highlight of the trail, the Brushy Mountain Tunnel. It's the biggest tunnel on the trail, and it's always wet inside. You gotta be careful about that. Now, one time when I was in here, I was singing because of course the acoustics are so great, and a rider going the other way told me that I needed to keep my day job. But little did he know that singing is my day job. So let's go inside for a little concert, shall we? And we'll see if I get heckled today. America, America, God mend thine every flaw. Confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in law. This old trestle bridge makes a beautiful landmark here on the trail. first for me. Little turtle friend on the trail. Hello, turtle. Would you like to be moved off the trail? Huh? Would you like to be moved off the trail? Yeah. There you go. I'm going to depart the Silver Comet Trail here to find our lunch. We are depleted. And so, food. Yeah, that's what we need. So, here we go. Well, we've had our lunch stop at Zaxbys. Of course, because of COVID, we can't go in and enjoy any air conditioning. So we ate it around the corner in the shade. I'll tell you, that sandwich has never tasted better than when I bit into it today. I was quite hungry. And the ice water, yeah, that was needed. Yeah, now that we're out from under the trail, you really feel the heat and the sunlight. Oh, and I should add that the lady in front of us in the drive-thru paid for our meal, so that was very kind of her. And we might go down to the QT here that's between here and the trailhead and get another water bottle to top off our bottles or Powerade, and then we'll be back at it. So we've already passed the marker for 20 miles left on the trail, so I don't know if we'll make it all the way in today, but that was the goal. We'll see. We seem to have found a wild turkey along the trail. When you see the red caboose here at the Hiram trailhead, just know that there is a little bike stand behind the caboose run by a bike shop called Psychology. And so I think they do some bike rentals and might have some other items that would be of interest to a cyclist, including some snacks. How's it going, bud?
Pretty good.
We're crossing into Cobb County, and the pavement has changed from the concrete into this asphalt. And I'll mention with Cobb County and Paulding counties, you also see fairly frequently security cameras up along the trail for your safety, but I've always felt safe on the trail. At the first trailhead into Cobb, there's another bike shop called Bone Shaker Bicycles, and I should note that the bike I'm riding in this video I bought at Bone Shaker Bicycles. Also in western Cobb, in the Powder Springs area, there's a spur trail called Wild Horse Trail, and that's worth exploring. It goes to a nice park, complete with a BMX track and a water park. We've had a lot of interesting traffic. On the trail, you see recumbent bikes, you see fancy road bikes, you see mountain bikes, and one time I even saw some contraption that was powered like an elliptical, and someone was standing on it and doing an elliptical and going down the trail. So very unique. On a part of the trail that is sometimes patrolled by the comet cat, a little creature who likes to just sit and watch all the people go by.
But never before.
We're going to pause here at Comet Trail Cycles, which is an old train depot with some interesting history. I think one time owned by a governor of Georgia or his family, something like that. Anyhow, it's a nice bike shop. And you can see it's still a very busy day for the trail, and our hero here, he's hurting, he's feeling it, but we only have 4.2 miles left to the end of the trail, and he's going to push on to claim all the glory. All right.
In this room, I never get a chance to be with you.
Well, we're in the final mile. Ethan has ridden on ahead. I'm about to catch up to him, but first, I'm going to have to find my Rocky theme song music to play.
There they are. Sunday, August 23rd, Ethan has completed the entire Silver Comet Trail. Woohoo!
Well, we did it. We made it back. And Ethan had back-to-back record dates for him, and he may never go on a bike ride with me again. He's not very happy about the way that his backside feels. But it's been a great trip. So with 45 miles on day 1 and 55 miles on day 2, we ended up covering 100 miles in 2 days. It was so much fun, and I would just encourage you to get out there and explore it for yourself.